to be 2 weeks and we've still got people with masks on their faces.
So the 11th of November 2021 is a dark, dark day in our history.
Sajid Javid came out and spoke to the media saying that NHS workers will be required to have mandatory jabs or lose their job.
Your consent has to be freely given. I am an employment lawyer, okay, so I've been advising people to do exactly this.
Hello everyone, my name's Anna de Buisseret. I'm a retired army officer and a senior UK lawyer. And I'm an ex-management consultant from Pfizer as well. The first thing I wanted to tell everyone is what I said here to people, which is that every single one of us is sovereign in our own right. We are all equal under the rule of law. That includes the Crown, that includes your employer or anybody in the government. They are our public servants and we are all equal.
So it really, really bothers me that actually on the 11th of the 11th, I'm actually stood in front of all you beautiful people, standing shoulder to shoulder with you, on a day like today when 60,000 people have had those freedoms removed, the freedom to work, the freedom to live, the freedom to feed their family.
They don't get to change our laws, and under our rule of law, every single person has the right to their life and their right not to be tortured or given cruel, inhumane or degrading treatment or punishment.
All because of a medical intervention that, as the lady said before, does not stop you from getting the disease, stops you from transmitting the disease, pretty much is pointless, but you can lose your job over it.
Now that includes being experimented on or given medical treatment without someone's informed consent, fully informed consent, freely given.
We are against the mandating of vaccines, of drugs, of medical treatments. We are against the mandating of these things, not because it's a vaccine issue and not because it's a COVID issue, but because the core issue, the one we seem to have forgot, is the individual right to choose.
What I've been saying to people is hold the line, stand in your sovereignty, and if you do not consent to having your bodily integrity breached, then you have to fight back.
People are allowed to give medical self-exemptions to the vaccine passport, but only for a limited amount of weeks. If they choose to do that, they will lose their jobs on Christmas Day instead.
As an employee, what you do is you demand, as is your right under the health and safety framework, for an individual risk assessment. Now that's under Regulation 3 of the Management of Health and Safety at Work, Management Regulations 1999. Your employer has to give you, it's a statutory legal duty, they must give you an individual risk assessment, and that must be given by the occupational health physician. If the employer doesn't have an occupational health team, then they have to hire one. And that occupational health physician has to take you through your medical records and your pre-existing medical conditions and do a risk-benefit analysis and assessment of the potential harm and risks that you might suffer if you were to be mass tested, injected, or any of the other measures.
This is a dark, dark day in British history, and we could not let it go past without making a stand. So well done, everyone, for being here. Big round of applause for everybody that made the effort. Because we have to be on the right side of history, and I know there's thousands of people that couldn't make it today.
Now, if that harm-benefit analysis shows that there's going to be more harm and more risk than benefit, they cannot possibly ask you to do it. They certainly cannot mandate it. And even if it wasn't causing you any harm or risk, you still have the right to accept or refuse medical treatment, even if it's life-saving. So you have the right to refuse treatment even if you're going to die.